Hello dear students, in today's video we are going to discuss the next part of the lesson, walls tell stories. So we already looking at how the Golconda Fort, how it was built, and see here is a map of Golconda Fort. Here you can see different structures over there, and today we will deal with how to read a map and how to measure distances between two places, and also we will try to recognize how can we pictorially represent the objects which are found on the ground onto a map. So we cannot draw the exact things onto a sheet of paper and show this is that and that is this. So for that purpose we use certain symbols. So I hope you have seen maps. Okay. So first of all, before we going to discuss about this particular map of Golconda Fort, so we will first see the symbols that are used to represent certain objects on the ground. See this kind of symbol that shows stairs. Then this symbol which is actually representing storehouse, which is used for storing gunpowder and coal, and a small circle that shows Bauli, which means a place for storing water, and hose, a small square. Whenever you see this kind of hose, that is actually a storehouse of water, where the people at those time they used to store water. Here you can see in the map Katora house. So a square shaped region, a place where you can see the water is getting stored over here. And this symbol, it looks like a door, is it? So it is called darwaza, or it's a gate, main gate. Then these dotted parallel lines that actually represent road. So here for easiness I have drawn straight lines. These are not doubly dotted lines. So first of all, then we already identified which are those things, structures. Then one more, this kind of, this looks like trees, is it? So this symbol, wherever you see this kind of symbol in the map, so that represents garden. And this symbol, here you can see Balahisa, which is actually a mahal or palace. See, now the next thing we need to know about the map is the scale. How, suppose the actual distance between the two objects on the ground or two places on the ground, so that is maybe 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer. The exact distance we cannot make and cannot keep and draw it on a map. So what we do, we choose a scale. So here the map is drawn onto a small sheet of paper, so that represents 1 centimeter anywhere in the map. So the distance between 1 centimeter, which is very small. So comparatively, so I am just expressing. So if this much distance is 1 centimeter, so on the map, on the ground, it will be equal to 110 meter. So we are reducing the size of the map, so that using this scale. So here on the map, on the sheet of paper, wherever if it is 1 centimeter, in actual case on the ground, the distance will be equal to 110 meter. And next thing we need to look at the directions. So we all know that where the sun rises, the sun rises in the east. So especially if you stand just right in front of a map, your left side, so that means to the where the sun sets, so that part is called the west. And suppose if you are facing a map, okay, your right hand side, that will be marked as east, where the sun rises. And the upward portion, suppose the part which is upward or this particular position, whatever you see about to that direction, that will be north. And what is shown over here, what is in the downward direction, don't get confused with that downward direction, that is called south direction. So we have got these four cardinal directions that we are normally making use of at present. So which are those four directions? One is east. You can find yourself where east is, where you see the sun getting rise in the morning. So sun rises in the east. So whenever you draw a map, so your right hand side will be shown as east and your left hand side will be shown as west, and the upward portion where your head, that portion is north, and the bottom part, that means that will be the south, the downward direction. So now let us look at certain objects which are situated, which are shown over here. Suppose now we need to identify in which direction you need to move. Say for example, so now all of you can see here I have drawn sun over here. They are marked here east, where the sun rises from the east. Suppose if I want to move to the west, I need to move in this direction. Yes or no? So this is how we, suppose here what we can see, Moti Mahal. We can just look at this Moti Mahal. Suppose if you want to go from Moti Mahal to Bala Hisar, there are two mahals or palaces which is inside the Golconda Fort. So if you want to move from Moti Mahal to Bala Hisar, in which direction you will have to move? Yes, you will have to move in towards the west direction. Suppose in reverse, in return, if you want to move starting from Bala Hisar to Moti Mahal, then you will have to move towards east direction. And similarly, suppose this is a gate. Here you can see the symbol that represents gate or darwaza. So this gate is called Bodli Darwaza. Suppose if you are looking from Bodli Darwaza, in which direction you will be seeing Katora house? So in which direction? If you look from, you are peeping through the Bodli Darwaza, then you will find Katora house where the water is stored. That part will look in which direction? In which direction we have to look in order to see Katora house? Towards the north direction. And suppose if you are looking, if you are entering, imagine if you are entering from Darwaza, suppose Banjara Darwaza, in which direction you will have to move to reach Katora house? So you are entering from Banjara Darwaza, so in which direction you will have to move? You will have to move towards the south direction in order to reach the Katora house. So I hope you understood this particular part. So finding directions in the map is, once you are more interested, once you identify how to locate the directions upward north, down south, right side east, and left side west. So accordingly you can identify the symbols. Suppose you have to study the symbols and what it represents. And especially now let us go to the next part, that is using the scale we can find the distance between two places on a map. Suppose, so here you can see another entrance point, that is another big gate, that is called Makai Darwaza. So Makai Darwaza to Fateh Darwaza. Here you can see these are two gates which are situated. Fateh Darwaza is towards the east direction and Makai Darwaza is towards the west direction. See, if you find, you can take it, this map is already given in your textbook, you take a scale and measure this distance between Makai Darwaza and Fateh Darwaza, so which will be approximately 12 centimeter. So here 1 centimeter is equal to 110 meter on the map, on the ground. So what will be, if 12 centimeter is between Makai Darwaza and Fateh Darwaza, so 12 into 110, because 1 centimeter is equal to 110 meter. So what will be 12 centimeter? 12 centimeter, when it is converted into meters, you have to multiply 12 into 110. So which will give you the distance, that is 1320 meter. So in reality, if you want to walk from this plane, this point, so you need to walk nearly 1320 meters. If you are starting from Makai Darwaza, in which direction you have to move? You will have to move towards the east direction. Okay, keep it in mind. The next thing, if you want to find the distance between Bala Hisar and Fateh Darwaza, so choose another 2 points. So take a scale and measure the distance between Bala Hisar and Fateh Darwaza, which will be approximately 8 centimeter. So when you convert this 8 centimeter onto the using this scale, where 1 centimeter is equal to 110 meter, so you get 8 into 110, which is equal to 880 meter. So this is the original distance between Bala Hisar and Fateh Darwaza. So this is how we calculate. We can use this particular map. You can design your own map. So I am going to give it you as a project work. So you can just draw a map by using symbols and using scale. You can draw a map of your locality. I am not saying the entire Happoli or Zero or wherever you live. Only a small region. For example, or a 50 meter region or a 100 meter region. So that you can identify, can spot the trees like this, or you can spot the buildings just like this. If any store or something is there, road you can mark just like this, or if buildings you can mark like this, or especially. So you try to make a map of your own region, and you mark the distances between these different places and your house and your friend's house especially. Okay, so you can see this map in your textbook and go through the video carefully again and again. Suppose initially you will find some difficulty understanding this direction and all, so watch this video again 2 or 3 times so that you can understand it well and complete the questions once you try it yourself. So I will be giving the answers. And bowling and hose, these are used for storing water. Okay, that you keep in your mind and read the textbook and study it. The remaining part we will discuss in the next video.